Good morning, everyone. It's very good to see you all. We are a group of fourth-year students studying law here at Varsity campus. We are studying street law, in which we are going to be teaching you on a specific topic, which is sexual violence in South Africa, with a special focus on marital rape. My name is Sandra. I'm going to be doing the introduction for the topic this morning. Mobile will provide the definition of sexual violence, as well as the legislation which deals with these crimes. Our third presenter will be Karabo, who will present the first section of our topic, which will seek to dissect what marital rape is and how it affects us. Given will then come forth and will discuss case law and the measures available to victims of sexual violence and marital rape. Our last presenter this morning is going to be Kanye, and she will conclude our presentation and take any questions if there are any. We are asking you please to participate, because this is an exchange of information and we require everyone to participate and to ask questions where you don't understand. So, to kick off our discussion this morning, how many of you have heard of SOMA? And SOMA is Sexual Offences and Other Related Matters Act. Has anybody come across this piece of legislation? Yes, please go ahead. Okay, I see there is quite a number of people who are aware of this act. To just give you an idea, it's an act that was promulgated to deal with the issue of marital rape in South Africa. We'll be talking more about this act as we go on with the discussion. How many of you think sexual violence is a cause of concern in South Africa? Just a hands up, please. I just want to have a general idea of how many people view sexual violence as a cause of concern here in South Africa. Oh wow, excellent. Wonderful. Why do you think, can somebody give me an idea of why they think that sexual violence is a cause for concern in South Africa? Yeah, yes please, if you can just speak up.
It's a cause for concern because of the high crime rates in South Africa, and I think that shows that in South Africa we need to fix that issue, because women and men are affected by it every single day.
Yes, no, that's very, very good. Thank you very much. Marital rape or spousal rape, does such a thing exist in South Africa? Is it a crime? Why do you think it's a crime? Or does anybody think that marital rape is not a crime? What do you think? Let's talk about this, please. What do you think?
Marital rape is a crime mostly because it's engaging in activity or the sexual activity with your spouse without their consent, and that's a criminal offense.
Yes. So it looks like you guys have some idea of the topic that we are discussing. Thank you. So by the end of this discussion, we will require that you know a few things that we'd like you to take with you from this discussion. The first one being that you need to know and understand the definition of sexual violence in general and marital rape in particular. Understand and know the interventions that are available to persons who have been violated sexually, whether by their partner or anybody else. And then the last one is to understand that marital rape is not, marital rape is a crime in South Africa, and it's a punishable crime that the courts deal with. So it is a crime, ladies and gentlemen. And my next presenter, Nqobile, will be discussing the topic further. Thank you.
Morning everyone, my name is Nqobile and I'll be explaining sexual violence in a broad sense. We all have heard about sexual violence and sexual assault in this country, especially with the country that we live in regards to gender-based violence. Even though that all exists, the reality is gender-based violence happens to both genders and not specific to one gender. Now let's test how much you guys know about sexual violence through examples. Would someone forcing you to give ice cream be sexual violence?
No.
Not giving consent to sexual intercourse?
It is sexual violence.
Someone threatening you to touch them in order to reveal information of yours?
Yes.
Someone asking to kiss you and you say yes?
No.
Someone brushing past your bottom and then as they hug you?
Depending on the
Good one.
relationship.
That's a tricky one. And now to formally explain what sexual violence is, after now I've seen that you have a good idea of it. The term sexual assault refers to sexual contact or behavior that occurs without explicit consent from the victim. A few examples of sexual assault are rape attempts, unwanted sexual contact or fondling, forcing a victim to engage in sexual activity including oral sex or entering the offender's body. Sexual assault basically happens when someone violates someone else's sexually without the person's consent. Sexual act composes of two components, force and non-consent. And now to educate you on the legislation. In South Africa, sexual crimes are addressed under both common law and statutory law. Common law encompasses offences such as rape, sodomy, bestiality, incest, public indecency, and indecent assault. In contrast, sexual intercourse with minors is governed by Sexual Offences Act. Do you guys know what a minor is?
Yes.
What is a minor?
Isn't it someone maybe that's under the age of 18?
Yes, correct. Assault, defined by South African law as intentionally and unlawfully causing physical harm to someone, is also a criminal offence. Various pieces of legislation, including the Sexual Offences Amendment Act and the Criminal Law Amendment Act 32 of 2007, regulate sexual assault. The Sexual Offences Amendment Act offers protection for individuals affected by rape, sexual assault, sexual grooming, incest, child pornography, and prostitution. Rape is specifically defined as forcing someone into sexual intercourse without their consent. The Criminal and Related Matters Amendment Act and the Domestic Violence Amendment Act of South Africa are significant legislations that govern sexual violence. I hope you took away information that can help you and help others on sexual assault in South Africa. Thank you.
Good morning, guys. My name is Karabo Tlamini, and I'll be focusing on marital rape. So as you guys have understood what we're talking about today, sexual violence in broad and marital rape, and you guys said you already have an idea of what marital rape is, I quickly want you guys to tell me what marital rape is in simple terms according to the paper that I gave you guys that you had to read. Can anyone tell me what it means in simple terms? Yes?
So marital rape is rape between spouses where one of the spouses has not given consent for sexual intercourse.
Okay, that's correct. So in essence, or rather in like summary, it's intercourse or any sexual activity that takes place between spouses with no consent, whether it be oral or actual intercourse taking place. Does anyone know what consent is? Because that's the most important part from what she just said. Yes? Permission. Correct. So it is permission for something to happen or an agreement to take part in something. So in terms of marital rape, that is permission to partake in sexual intercourse with your spouse. I also want you guys to look at that paper and just tell me what you understand, like the difference between how it was viewed in the past, if it was a crime in the past, and how it's viewed now in terms of the constitution, rights, and everything. Does anybody have an idea when looking at that paper? What is the difference?
It's just a suggestion. I think previously it was not criminalized, but now at the moment it is a crime.
True. So the difference is that now there's a constitution that protects people. There's a constitution that gives people rights. There's women rights. There's human rights, which are let me say, everybody is subject to and everybody has. Meaning that whether male or female, you have the right to bodily integrity. You have a right to say no. Also, I'd like to highlight that this concept was the same in the past everywhere, where in the sense that traditionally people were expected to fully submit to their partners. Women were not allowed to say no. You had to fully give in to your partner, so you had no right to say no in any way. And then, does anyone know if marital rape happens to women only, or it also happens to men?
To men as well.
Okay, that's correct. And why do you think the stats show that men report less when women reported more?
Probably because they're afraid or embarrassed.
Oh, as men. Oh, okay, true. Most men are scared to be judged by police officers, or emasculated, because men are expected to be strong and not be, submissive or prone to encountering such. So I would just like to quickly highlight the stats that 8.6% of women report sexual violence by their partners, and only 2.3% of men report sexual violence against them by their partners. So these are the two scenarios that you guys will have to answer for me. Do you guys think this is marital rape or not? It says a wife wants to engage in sexual activity and her husband lets her know that he's not in the mood, but the woman continues.
It is.
Correct. And then the second one is a married man. A is married to B. B finds her in bed fast asleep, but B is trying to engage in sexual activity, but B turns away, showing disinterest, but the man continues. Is that marital rape or not?
It is.
It is.
Thank you. I trust that you guys understand what marital rape is, and that this will help keep you guys out of trouble. The next presenter is given. He'll be highlighting case law and the steps to take if you ever encounter marital rape. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Given. I'm here to facilitate on the measures that the victim has with regard to marital rape. Firstly, I need to check with you guys if you ever encounter this trauma of being raped by your spouse. What's the first step that you need to take? Correct. So the first step that you need to take is to report the matter to the police. The police will open the case for rape. So whenever you open a case at the police station, the police owes a duty to you, so that they report everything that happens. If there is a court hearing, they need to call you so that you can go and testify. And I need to check once more, is there a turnaround time for you to report a case for rape?
I think you can report anytime, whether it be 3 months or anything, but maybe for the report or maybe the case to be registered and everything, maybe 24 hours.
Okay, that's correct. So with regard to marital rape, there is no time frame for you to report the case. It's unlike these crimes of perhaps an accident where you have to report within 48 hours. So with marital rape, anytime you can go and report. You can report after 5 years, or you can report the earlier the better. But what is advisable is that you report the earlier the better, so that there could be evidence. There could be a medical examination for you to present Another thing that you can do is to have a protection order once you face that trauma of having been found raped by your spouse. So protection order, it's for you, since you trust your person that he can't do this to you. So if you don't open a protection order, it's gonna be a chaos. So another thing, you can even opt for a divorce. So our criminal justice system, they view this marital rape so very serious in such a way that whenever this thing is recorded, they take measures for you to make sure that you are covered and to prosecute the offender. So one case that we need to touch on is the state versus America. So what happened in this case is that the America was the guy who raped the wife. So whenever you open a case, it's not gonna be you against the offender, it's gonna be the state. So the state takes over the case. So hence we're saying it's a state versus America. So the America is the offender. So what happened in this case is that the offender America raped his wife twice. So he was found guilty of these charges, and he was sentenced to life sentences for each count. So they had to run concurrently. So that's how serious the offense of marital rape is being taken by our South African legal justice system. So thank you so very much, guys. I hope you let the person so that you can do things in accordance with the law. At the moment, I will call upon my colleague Kanye to sum up whatever we have done.
I hope everyone now understands what we mean by marital rape and sexual violence. Do you guys have any question that you need to ask from us? Do you have any question where you don't understand, where you need more clarity? Anyone? Questions? No questions? Okay.
We are covered.
You're covered. Okay, do you now understand what marital rape is? Can you tell me what marital, in your opinion, what marital rape is?
I think it's whenever you rape your spouse.
Okay, and sexual violence? Anyone?
Sexual violence, like when you engage in unwanted activity, sexual activity with anyone, be it your friend, spouse, or just anyone.
Okay. I'm glad that you understand, guys. What's important to know is that marital rape and sexual violence is a very serious crime. As my colleague Given was saying now, there's cases that have been opened, there's laws, there's constitution that protects partners from sexual violence. Just because you're married to someone, it doesn't mean that you can force yourself or have sexual activities with them without their consent. There's laws that are in place to protect you against that. In conclusion, guys, I just wanted to give you the numbers. You guys know the numbers that you need to call when you've been sexually violated by your partner?
No.
Okay, you can either call 10-111 or this is the number 0800-150-150. It's a 24-hour number. You can call it at any time. And I just wanted to touch on the guys who feel embarrassed to report the crime. Why is that so? We've got one guy here. Can you explain to us why do you feel embarrassed to report?
No.
Why do you think you would feel embarrassed to report sexual violence or marital rape?
In most cases, they will laugh at you at the police station.
Okay. According to law, they're not supposed to be laughing at you. You've got every right to report sexual violence or marital rape. Even those policies, you've got a right to even open a case against them if they don't take your case serious. Everyone has a right. Sexual violence is against your right. You can report it at any time at any police station. No one is there to laugh at you. If they laugh, you can even report it. Thank you very much, guys. I hope we now understand, and I hope we've got an idea of what to do when that happens to us. Hopefully it doesn't.